Listeners beware! You're in for a scare!
Howdy folks, welcome to Nightmare on Fear Street, an R.L. Stine podcast, and I'm your host Zach, and it's just me this week. Oh.
No! Get ready to catch these hands with your face!
Oh, my hands! My face! Oh god.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle. We're actually in the same room.
Yes, we finally used teleporter technology. We got those pesky flies out of the way.
Yeah, except I do have, well, you know what? I've got a tail now because one of my possums got into the teleporter. Now I am, much as Jeff Goldblum became Brundlefly, I am now Meg Possum.
It sounds like a weird... some weird people go on. How do I attain this teleportation technology? And I can finally
become a furry
wolfkin.
I can finally become my animal kin type in real life.
And then it happens, and they're miserable. Kill me.
No disrespect to other kin. You're not hurting anybody.
No,
you just
except when the transformation actually happens, and you become
unless you're a werewolf, like an actual werewolf, then you're a danger to yourself and society. But you know what? All werewolves out there, I love you. I love werewolves.
Werewolves are awesome.
Anyway, Zach, what time is it?
I don't know.
Summertime. It's my vacation.
Oh, it's winter time for me.
Shut up, Zach. Yeah, well, you know what? Since I am one half of this podcast is Australian, so, you know what? It is my summer vacation. And so, because it's summer vacation, we went to Camp Nightmare this week.
Oh, yeah, no, we most definitely went to Camp Nightmare this week.
Or as I like to call it, average Australian scout camp experience.
For me, it's just... regular camp.
Yeah.
So we can gather around the campfire and sing our campfire songs, our C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G songs. And if you can't sing this faster, then you're wrong. Just try to sing along.
It's been too long.
C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G song.
It's screwing me up,
okay, no, it's really screwing me up.
I'm gonna end up corpsing a lot because I'm just gonna look over at Zach and because I'm used to just being in my room and just looking at the wall.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Which is how I'm able to keep a straight face through most of the weird bullshit that I say on the show. So anyway, Zach, how was your spooky week?
Well, a lot of it was me flying. It took me literally to get from the airport to get to terminal 28 minutes. And then I flew here, and then the first night was weird because we met the first time.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird seeing you and your reactions.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, people are oh, I do podcasts all the time, my friend. No, you don't realize. Meg's in Australia, and I'm here.
Yeah.
This is weird, Meg.
But, funnily enough... despite the time differences, this is the exact time that I am usually recording with you, 2 p.m. on a Thursday, which is, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
why didn't you warn me about the alien invasion, Meg? You had a whole day to tell me.
Well, you know what? We just want some people just want to watch the world burn. When the aliens come, I'm selling all of you out. None of you are free of sin.
No. Other than that, today I woke up and I didn't get her message that we're going to be meeting at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I ended up walking around the mall for a couple hours, and in that time I made a bunch of friends. And then I met a bunch of dogs, and I petted a bunch of dogs.
Where were the dogs? I heard them. Where were they?
The dogs are at the far... Okay, so I guess we should explain. So right now we're in my hotel, but... where we're meeting is in a shopping center, a big old mall, the Dallas Galleria.
And I am staying at the Dallas Galleria.
And the funny thing about this, though, is that to meet Meg, I have to go through this mall. And at the end where the Macy's is, at the far end of the mall, that's where the dogs are.
Why were they there?
It's their adoption day.
The adoption day, they're taking the dogs to my hotel tomorrow. I did see a sign that was Dallas adoption. You know, say what you want about America, but it is so much easier to get a rescue dog here because there's so many more public adoptions. Whereas in Sydney, there's 2 good dog shelters, and they're both nowhere near where I live.
No, and the funny thing is they actually had like a Shih Tzu that looked almost like my dog. So I took a picture of the dog and I sent it to my mom.
Excellent.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to adopt this. And then I came back a couple hours later and said, you've been adopted. So I took another picture and like, guess who's coming home with me? And my mom was freaking out.
Good goofs.
No, like I texted my sister, you have to play along. I told you that I got this dog. And my sister did. She went through, and my mom ended up calling me furious. And like, I didn't adopt the dog. The dog adopted me.
How committed are you to that joke though? Like,
I was gonna bring a stuffed animal home. And
you should do it. Get your mom a stuffed animal for Christmas and go home and give it to her.
And just get like a little kennel case.
Yes, like go to Build-A-Bear Workshop and get one of their stuffed dogs and put like a lid on it and stuff and bring it home.
Yeah, and then I'll just be like, Mom,
this is my no. Get one of those prank leads that looks like there's like an invisible dog on it. This is my ghost dog.
This homeless person gave me 4 magic beans for it. So this week, actually, Meg. Oh, this is the first time this has happened to me.
Now you know how it feels.
How was your spooky week?
Well, I'm pretty sure that I have you beat for longest travel time. Well, actually, no, wait. I actually did stuff this week before I came here. So, on Monday, me and my friend Claire went to a live taping of Q&A, which is an Australian panel show where they get people on to talk about current events.
Was there a cage fight? Did a cage come down in the 2 delegates?
Sadly, no, but as we were coming out, Claire was like, oh, that's a lot more civil than it's been some other weeks. And so I assume that they just saved the cage fighting for, like...
Or public executions.
Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, a big cage comes down and Tony Jones, who's the host of the show, is standing outside. Tony Jones is gotta be, like... the most patient man in Australia because his whole job is to sit in the middle of the table and, like, wait for people to start yelling at each other and be like, okay, that's enough, calm down.
Just a cage. Then that's
and that's when the cage fight starts.
When he's like, we need the cage.
Four politicians enter, 1 politician leaves. That's how Australian politics works.
I can back this.
Yeah, and then and I had a D&D session with my friends Jamie and Sean on Sunday, which was really fun. And then on Wednesday, I went to the airport to get on the plane, and our taxi driver was a very special man. He sang, just randomly started singing, and then he gave my dad this big speech about the true meaning of happiness, and my mom just, like, turned to me, like, how about halfway through his, like, little song, my mom just, like, turned to me and just gave me this look that was just, like, I could tell in that moment that she thought we were gonna die. She thought, oh, he's crazy. If we don't clap for his song, he's gonna crash this car. But we got there, and so we got on the...
I have to stop you.
What?
What was his message? What was his true meaning of happiness?
I don't know. I had my headphones on the whole time. I wasn't listening.
What is your version of the true meaning of happiness?
Oh, no, my mom, like, quoted it to me later. It was something like, there's, like, the doing... It didn't mean anything. It was like, there's doing, and then there's wanting to do, and you gotta do things that you want to do, or something really stupid like that.
And my scary thought now is I'm gonna go home because I'm leaving
and that guy will be there waiting for you.
No, it's not. It's gonna be waiting for me. You're gonna go home and the episode's gonna come out and he's just playing the episode, our episode, while you're in the cab. Like, oh no. It's like that type of fear.
I mean, it could happen.
It's possible.
I didn't talk to him though, so he doesn't know. There could be another singing cab driver in Sydney.
It's a monopoly.
I mean, yeah, I've had some weird, like, some taxi drivers go on some weird rants at me. Anyway, yeah, and then I got on the plane, and the flight was 14 entire hours. And I killed most of the time by sleeping, and finally getting around to finishing the book Kraken by China Miéville, which I think I started reading in May. It's taken me a whole year to finish it. And I also watched It again. They had It on the plane. Still just as good, second watch. And but not quite as good seeing it on a tiny little screen at the back of somebody else's
face.
And then I also watched the Captain Underpants movie, which I really liked. And it was messing me up because you know Melvin from Captain Underpants?
Yeah.
Melvin.
The nerdy kid?
The nerdy kid. He looks exactly like Griffin McElroy.
He looks. Oh, I mean,
He looks exactly like Griffin McElroy. Like, if you took... Like, I couldn't find any pictures of Griffin McElroy as a child, but I bet that's what he looked like as a child.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
He's got the same, like, hair, like, the same
Like the
haircut.
poofy, like, top
the
cut?
little, like, the little fluffy bit at the front and then, like, shaved at the sides. And he's got the big glasses and the kind of, like, DreamWorks face that he's doing. And he's, like, got a round little head and he looks so much like Griffin McElroy. It was weird.
You know what was really weird? This, like 2 weeks ago, I got the book From a Certain Point of View. It's a bunch of, like, short stories by Star Wars stuff. And one of them's written by Griffith McElroy. And then 2 of them are written by Ben Blacker and Ben Acker that do the Thrilling Adventure Hour. I
always forget that, like, those people have lives outside of doing podcasts.
I'm like,
because it's like, oh yeah, Griffin McElroy, he actually, like, does writing for Polygon. He's got a job other than
and Monster Factory.
And Monster Factory. He's got a job outside of, like, playing games in the worst way humanly possible and leading his family on Dungeons and Dragons adventures and eating bananas real weird. So anyway, you want to talk about this cover?
Oh yeah, so this week we read Welcome to Camp Nightmare. It's a little camp of horrors.
What is your front tagline?
Yeah, it's a little camp of
Mine says that on the back.
It says that on the back. Mine says, those scary stories all about camp are all coming true.
So,
was it a retro or a phone?
This is one of the ones that came in my, like, gigantic box set.
It's really weird because it's, like, old versus new right now. Like,
well, that's usually how it is, except for the ones that haven't been reprinted. So, my version and your version, from the looks of it, they're conceptually they're the same cover, but, like, it's like 2 kids handing in, like, art projects based around the same prompt.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you want mine to go
Okay, so mine is creepy, sort of like spooky Tim Burton-y trees against a green sky with clouds, and in the front there's a yellow tent. It's one of those sort of like dome-shaped tents that you get, like, you know, like a standard tent like you get now.
So there'd be like
a modern one. It's like
I think they're called like Everest tents.
Yeah, like but it's a pretty standard type of tent that you get. And there is a werewolf-looking monster he's opened up the tent and he's sort of hovering over it like he's about to stick his hand in and pull whoever's sleeping in there out. And there's like a real cool, I didn't notice it doesn't really show up in the lighting that we got now, but like there's like a really cool purple glowy effect on like this monster's body, like close to the tent, so it kind of makes him look like he's purple, but like not quite, like browny purple. It's cool. And then over top in the text it's "Welcome to Camp Nightmare," and then the Goosebumps logo up the top, and then so
mine's a little different. Mine has a bunch of like Barry Sonnenfeld like trees, and it has a pop-up tent.
Yeah, it's like an old kind of tent, like a
green type of tent,
like the kind of tent that you see on the road sign pointing to the campground. Like a very, like, when you think of a tent, this is the thing that you are imagining.
Yeah, and like the monster's a lot creepier because you don't see him. Like you see his eyes coming.
You see 2 eyes and you see a hand.
You see like a creepy, like I can't even.
It is a distressingly human-looking hand, as opposed to the very obviously like a werewolf thing. The
interesting thing I find about this, as well as that, inside the tent is all green and glowy. I feel like there's like the 2 kids are having like a rave.
Yeah,
with, like glow sticks.
Can you replace that with the actual Darude Sandstorm in post?
No.
Because that was like the worst Darude Sandstorm I've ever tried.
I think mine's a little scary, except like as I'm looking at it, I swear to God I'm seeing more like Swamp Thing or like Man Thing.
I think it looks like...
It looks like Man Thing.
It does. It looks like the trees are part of its body.
Is this like prequel to like the Man Thing comic?
I mean...
It's possible.
No, we've already established that Stay Out of the Basement is the prequel to Man Thing.
Well, this is the prequel's prequel. You need to have a prequel for the prequel.
Son of the prequel.
So... the food isn't great, the councils are a little strange, and the camp director, Uncle Al, seems sort of demented. Okay, so Billy can't handle all that. But his fellow campers start to disappear. What's going on? Why won't his parents answer his letters? What's lurking out after dark? Camp Night Moon is turning into Camp Nightmare. For real? And Billy might be next.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god!
So this is the first of many Goosebumps book to be set at a camp.
Yeah, I remember. I always got them all confused because there's Welcome to Camp Nightmare, the
Horror of Camp Jelly Jam,
Welcome to Ghost Camp.
Okay, I've got the list of the books here. So let's see. We got the Horror of Camp Jelly Jam, Welcome to Camp Nightmare,
Ghost Camp,
and Return to Ghost Camp.
There's like a bunch of. I guess R.L. Stein just kept going to camps a lot.
I mean, it's a good.
Well,
It's a really good setting for a horror story because you've got the parents are not there.
Oh, yeah, no, you've taken the parents out of the equation.
You've taken the parents out of the equation. You put the kids in an environment where there's very little technology. They're out in nature.
None of them know each other.
They don't. The adults are strangers, pretty much. So they can't really trust the adults that are with them.
And there could be anything out in the woods.
Yeah, there could be anything out in the woods.
I mean, this book used to be called Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake, but then they had to change that.
Fun story. You know Cropsey, right?
Yeah.
First of all, my Cropsey is like my dad growing up in Pennsylvania. He used to go to camp and they would talk about Cropsey. Like, I was watching something about it. It wasn't the documentary. It was like another video.
Oh, I've seen the Netflix.
I watched the documentary, but that was one specific. That's only like the Staten Island version of Cropsey, which is based on.
That's the one about if I'm right, it's the one about the mental asylum.
Yeah, it's the one about it was like a home for disabled children that got shut down because of abuse, and one of the guys who worked there was like kidnapping kids. That was a real thing that happened, but like Cropsey as a character has existed long before that in many other different forms. And like the standard form is that he went insane after his daughter was killed at camp. And so then he goes back to the camp and he stalks the counselors and he's got a stumped leg and you can hear, because he got his foot caught in a bear trap and it cut it off. He's got long white hair. And my dad used to tell me this story because he got told the story at his camp. And Cropsey is the inspiration for Jason.
I can see that.
Because there was a paper that was written for some book about urban legends in America. It was written in like the 70s, and the people that they interviewed about the Cropsey legends were kids who had gone to the actual Camp Crystal Lake in I think it's in Ohio or something. And and also like the whole thing about he went mad after his kid was killed and he comes back for revenge. So Jason and his mother together are sort of Cropsey. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the first Friday the 13th movie, which what are you doing if you haven't? What are you doing listening to this show?
There's oh my god, the funny thing though is I used to go to Jewish summer camp, so when we would just do a bunch of random things that I remember. We had almost like a Harry Potter thing where we each had teams, so we had points. And I remember the stupidest thing. This is how messed up I am as a person who's watched horrible R-rated movies. Our camp class we're gonna have trivia night. Who said this quote? And the quote was from the third RoboCop. And I'm like, is it from the third RoboCop? And he's like,
how old were you?
I was 6 or 7.
You saw RoboCop when you were 6?
Yeah.
I saw Jurassic Park when I was 5.
But this is different though. I figured out this question because it was something really the main tagline of the movie, and he was like, "No one's supposed to get that one."
We threw that in there to see whose parents
are
terrible and letting them watch R-rated movies at age 6.
Even though RoboCop 3 isn't my favorite, RoboCop 1 and 2 have a special place in my dead heart.
I've never seen RoboCop.
What? Let's go.
I'm not. That's not the kind of movie I'm into.
No, you'd really like RoboCop.
I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try one day. But look, I just haven't seen it. So yeah, as I've probably mentioned somewhere at some point before. In Australia, we don't really do the summer camp thing. There are summer camps, but it's not part of the
curriculum.
It's not part of the social zeitgeist. Dumping your kids at camp for a month over summer holidays is not a thing that people do. Instead, we have mandatory school camps where you and your entire grade at your school get put on you pack your bags for a week or 2 weeks, depending on what school you go to. Mine, it was always a week, but I've heard some other schools go 2 weeks. And they sort of just dump you in the woods, and you are split up into groups, and you go camping.
Yay!
As a class. And but then there's the hardcore next level school camps, which are the Duke of Edinburgh.
Is that the one where they throw a knife and then some bundle of sticks and
That is exactly what happens. I didn't go, but my friends who did go in high school, they tell me, like, they would always, like,
You realize-
give us an assembly to sort of convince us to sign up for Duke of Ed. And it would be like, this is going to look great on your resume.
Like,
When you go to get a job and your resume says completed Duke of Ed, that's like you're going to learn first aid. You're going to learn orienteering. These are all useful skills
Meg,
for the world.
Do you realize to become a commando, that's exactly what they make you do to get your commando knife?
It's basically the same.
It's literally
Yeah.
just they give you just the knife and you have to survive for like a week or two. People are going to correct me, but that's pretty much what.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do that on like cadets and scout camps as well. It's like similar stuff.
Yeah, but they do it for Girl Scouts, right?
The funniest thing is, we don't have Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts
They have
in
Lamb
Australia.
Scouts?
No, there's just Scouts.
Oh.
Everybody meets in the same hall.
Okay.
I mean, like,
So wait, then can I get Scout cookies then?
No, we don't do that. We do the Christmas tree sales though.
But I want my Scout
We
cookies.
don't have Scout cookies in Australia.
Thin mint, coconutties.
We have biscuits that are like those.
Yeah? Well,
But,
I want my coconutties.
Yeah.
Meg's just giving me this really awkward, like, I'm gonna murder you look.
Yeah,
Because I like big old fat guy.
I'm just trying to get him to shut up about Thin Mints.
Well, you don't like Thin Mints?
No, I mean, I just hate that we don't have them. We have a similar kind of thing to Thin Mints, and it's like, it's close enough, but it's not Thin Mints. Anyway, yeah, so, speaking of Australia, like, the first thing that I noticed reading the first page of this book is that the landscape that he is describing is basically the outback, because I'll read this to you. I could see sloping red hills in the distance beneath a bright yellow sky. Stumpy white trees lined the road like fence posts. That's what, like, red dirt, hills, white trees, except ours are like long and like they're like Slenderman trees.
Slenderman trees?
And some of them have like bark that is continuously peeling off. So they are like melty Slenderman trees.
So they're like Tim Burton-esque, like...
Tim Burton trees. We have my country is full of Tim Burton trees.
The country that isn't it? No, that's the country of like Scotland. Their official animal is the unicorn. I think
that's I think that's true. I think that's why when you look at the official crest of the United Kingdom, it's got a lion and a unicorn on it.
Yeah.
The lion is England, and the unicorn is Scotland.
Yeah.
And then I guess Wales is the dragon.
So I'm just...
England's the only one that got a real animal. What the hell?
Yeah, because they're... So, hey guys,
We're in a hotel room. They're cleaning outside.
They're doing construction, or actually they're murdering people outside.
Yeah.
I got one of them hostile, cheapo
Yep.
hotels. So the book opens up with... almost like the opening of Holes, where they're just driving out in the
Exactly
middle
like the
of
opening of Holes, actually.
Hey guys, due to technical difficulties, meaning that my hotel was imploding because I guess it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground.
They moved the graves, but they forgot to move the bodies.
That's just cheap Texas for you.
Yeah.
So my hotel imploded, so there was terrible construction,
Yeah.
so we needed to change stuff around, so here we are.
Yeah, and my mom might walk in at any point, so
That's gonna be funny, eh?
that's gonna be funny. She can join us and like give her thoughts on a book that she's never read in her life. Anyway, okay, so Nightmare.
So the book opens up almost like the beginning of Holes, where they're just driving literally in the middle of nowhere.
It's exactly the beginning of Holes.
It's exactly the beginning of Holes. I'm expecting like good old Shia LaBeouf to come out, like looking at you in his SUV.
He's following you about 25 yards back. He breaks into a sprint and he gets down on all fours.
What's his name?
He's coming for you. Shia LaBeouf.
So, main character of this is Billy.
And his best friend is Mike, which makes me wonder, like, where's Bev, Richie, Eddie, and Stanley?
No, so the weird thing is when I was reading it, his best friends are Mike, Billy, Jay, and Colin. And there's some, like, that's four of the, like, these people that I watch on YouTube, like Red Letter Media. That's, like, literally four of them out of five.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, one of them's like, oh, one of them's named Rich. But, so, he's driving down the road, feeling like that she should have been home yesterday.
Yeah, they're all on this, this crappy bus, and it's hot.
It's hot, there's no AC.
Yeah, typical of a bus. And, the landscape that they're driving down is, like... It sounds like the outback to me, because I could see sloping red hills in the distance beneath a bright yellow sky. Stumpy white trees lined the road like fence posts. So you got bleached out, weird looking trees, red dirt, hills, nothing, More dirt, lots of dirt, so much dirt.
Neil Breen.
No, he's in Las Vegas.
Well, no, see, they passed by him. Like, he's, like, having his delusion. Like you said, the cow skull that moves.
Yeah, the cow skull that moves. I was just telling Zach, as we were walking back to this hotel from the other hotel, I was just saying that me and my friends came up with a theory while we were watching Double Down, which is that Neil Breen's character in Double Down hallucinated the entire thing because he has gotten mercury poisoning from eating too much tuna, and he has also gotten sunstroke from being out in the desert with no sunscreen on, and so he's just gone insane over the course of the movie, and the whole thing's a hallucination.
And that's why he bought all his broken laptops.
And that's why Double Down does not make any sense. That's why it's like the most confusingly edited film of all time.
Because he edited himself on like Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, you know he did though.
He did. Lighting, none.
Lighting, none. Costume design, none. So yeah, there are 22 of these kids on the bus, 18 boys and 4 girls. And so yeah, there's Mike, who is a shy fat kid.
Jay, who is like he's not the
Jay is the
greaser guy. Like he's not like a greaser. He's the jockey. The
jockey guy who he's always like trying to flirt with the girls, but the girls think he's an idiot.
Because he is an idiot.
Because he is an idiot. I tell you what, I knew this guy when I was in school. Like,
I knew this guy too.
Yeah, everybody knew this guy. I knew the guy that was like this at my school. He was like, one time he was like following me up the stairs singing some song, trying to impress me, and he had his eyes closed and he tripped and he fell down the stairs.
And you're just like,
I think about that all the time. His name was Josh, and
it's close enough.
I hope he's not listening to this. Actually, no, I hope he's listening to this. I hope he's doing okay. We have a record number of redheads in this book, I'd just like to say.
Isn't
there's like 5.
Oh, you're right. There's
one of the girls, and then Jay has red hair, I think, too.
And Larry, no, Larry doesn't. Oh, he doesn't? No, yes, he does.
He does. No, and
I'm thinking of like the guy from the TV show. Cause
he was blonde, and he was
blonde. And his face was so punchable.
Yeah, but he also kind of like... He looked a little like David Bowie, but like David Bowie's evil twin.
I thought of him like he is. Oh my god! I can't believe I know this. Marcus Flint from Harry Potter. He was the captain of the Quidditch team, like in the first year.
You're so right, though.
That's what he looks like.
Which Quidditch team was he? Was he Gryffindor or Slytherin?
He's the
Slytherin team
he's
captain.
The guy with the messed up teeth.
He totally does. He totally does. That's like the deepest cut we could have made. But I feel like people just know about it from osmosis because it's just. Anyway, so
they're making their way downtown.
Walking fast, faces past, and they're homebound. Except they're not. They're campbound.
When all of a sudden their bus stops and they start hearing growling,
and the driver turns around. And
they describe like his face is melting, there's blood everywhere, and everyone's freaking out.
He's got blue hair and big red eyes, and he's melty face, and he's got fangs, and there's drooly. And then, classic jovial Bob Stein fake out. The driver takes his mask off, and he's like, I got you kids, I got you good.
Now get off the bus.
We have fun at this camp. Get off the bus now.
And they all get off the bus.
And they are immediately accosted by an animal that is described as being like a wolf and a jaguar at the same time.
I'm trying to think, is it like a prairie dog? That's what it kind of...
No, a prairie dog is like a meerkat.
That's what they kind of just...
They call them prairie wolves.
And there's also apparently prairie cats and prairie dogs, which...
A prairie dog is an actual thing,
but I'm like, there's no such thing as a prairie cat.
Yeah, I mean, like... we'll get to this when we talk about the ending. All of these, like, weird references to towns that don't exist and animals that don't exist make sense when you get to the end of the book. It all falls into place. Like it's not just R.L. Stine not knowing what animals are called.
But I'm just thinking like a weird, like a gigantic, like superimposed, like an old 30s movie, like a gigantic prairie dog. I'm like, oh my god, it's like 100 feet.
Of course, or an armadillo, which in the 20s was like the official animal for what is that?
Oh my god.
So,
or an iguana.
Oh yeah, every dinosaur was an iguana. So, he's talking to these 2 girls, Dawn and Dory.
Yeah, one of them has memory problems, the other one's just like,
One of them's got red hair.
Yeah, one of them's got red hair.
Yeah, because there's, as I said, record number of redheads in this book.
And they're like, where's the camp?
And they're all just standing in the desert, like, and this guy has just dumped them in the middle of the desert, and they're looking for the camp.
I'm just imagine it's just like, you see that speck over there? Yeah, that's a town.
and they have to walk all through the desert to get to the village of foul devotees. And when they get there, the town elders are like, "You are the dirtiest children we have ever seen in our lives."
Oh, Camp Night Moon is that way. And then they
they just pass the Baudelaire orphans on the way there.
Well, look at those weird sad kids.
Look at those sad kids. Where are they going? They go back to that crow town.
Because that's literally the way to describe it, is like the beginning of...
It is, basically, and it's also like...
That's when something comes out of the bushes, because apparently there's bushes here, and it's a big old fat guy named Uncle Al.
Uncle Al has a gun, and he shoots at those dog-cat things.
And there's explosive rounds, too.
Yeah, I know, it's like...
And they scatter, and I think of, like, the person I think of as Uncle Al is the guy that... I can't always forget his name, but he's in all the Pixar movies. He's the guy that plays the piggy bank.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name. It's the guy from Cheers.
Yeah, the guy from Cheers.
Is it Norm?
Yeah, he's
from Cheers. Yeah, it's Norm.
He's Norm from. That's what I think of. Like, he's got like a big old. Like the way they describe him is.
You got your prairie dogs. You got your prairie cats. I don't even know if that's Norm. I'm Cheers is way before my time.
He's the mailman.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got like a mustache and a big old like.
Norm kind of looks like that too, so I'm getting confused.
So Uncle Al. He's just like, "Oh, hi there, campers. Welcome to Camp Night Moon. I'm Uncle Al.
You can call me Uncle Al.
My real name is Uncle Al. Like, legally.
His first name is Uncle. His second name is Al.
Yeah. It's like the Mario Brothers with Mario,
Luigi, Mario. How many times have we said that?
0.
I think I'm absolutely certain we've done it once. They get on this other bus. And all of the kids are rightfully really pissed off because as soon as they realize they're another bus, they just like, why didn't the other bus take us all the way?
And the sad thing, though, is that the bus only went about 5 minutes to the camp.
Yeah, it took the bus 5 minutes to get to the camp, so they're all like really annoyed.
This is I like how we're just making like weird, obscure references, but it reminds me of Cow and Chicken. Like, we're gonna be moving, and the whole episode's like they're gonna be moving from their house, and they literally moved the house over. So they get to Camp Night Moon, and it is like a lovely, terrible place. It's all like overgrown. There's like one lodge, some bunks, and that's about it.
I've been to this camp, I swear.
I haven't.
So, reading this has brought back a lot of memories, and I've got some good, like, camp-related goofs for this one, because, I've been to some absolutely shocking camps in my time. And the good thing is they only make you stay at them for a week, so...
Well, here, they're supposed to be here for the whole summer, so 3 months.
One of the camps that I went to when I was in high school, I think it was in, like, year 7, they had bunks. They had cabins and bunks and everything, but they made us sleep outside.
Wait, why?
They made us sleep outside.
Well, that's because they're also doing, like, you're making, the license plates and stuff. And
it was the middle of winter.
I just like the middle of winter.
It was the middle of winter. Was it the middle of winter or was it the beginning of winter? It was the beginning of winter.
So my summer.
It was not the middle of winter because the school that I went to at this time had a big like skiing, like they taught a lot of skiing, and they had a designated skiing school. So all of the kids that did like snow sports would go up to the second campus in the mountains, and they would do all of their classes. And then they would go in the snow. And I remember that because my teacher, every goddamn year at this school, my teacher would be the one that would go with the ski group. So I would always get, like, a different teacher every semester.
I just imagine when you guys are doing, like, arts and crafts. Like, come on, kids, I'm going to have to get my Etsy count up by spring.
Yeah. So we always stayed. And I guess they couldn't let... We just had, like, one of our camps was there. And they made us sleep outside. Because I guess they had to save the inside beds for the kids that actually like went there for school. But it was winter. It was winter, and I distinctly remember having to wear 2 pairs of pajamas layered on top of each other because it was very cold. This was the same trip when the dam broke when we were swimming in the river, and we all got stuck. That was the same trip. So I've basically been to Camp Night Moon, is what I'm saying. That's like... And also, like, finding a snake in your bed, normal experience. That happens to me on the daily. I don't even go to camp anymore. I'm an adult.
And that's just an Australia thing, because your entire country is just made out of snakes. You don't know that.
Yeah. Like, I'll go, like, into someone's yard for a bird rescue or something, and I'll just see a red-bellied black snake, and I'll just be like, yeah, see that? Don't go in that corner of your yard. Just wait for the snake to leave. And don't go into your yard until it leaves.
If you do, you'll die.
That's the advice that I give to, like... 90% of the people that call the office as naming wildlife. Like, they call up and they're like, I see a snake. What's it gonna do? Is it gonna kill me? Just stay out of your yard. Come back in 2 hours. It'll be gone.
Guys, I put a sheet over the snake. What do I do now? Do I throw it away?
You throw it into the bushes.
You throw it in the
Honestly, like, okay, so they go to their camp, and Mike pulls the covers back on his bed, and there's just 2 snakes in his bed. And the kids are like, somebody got you with the old rubber snake gag. And he's like, no, guys, I'm serious. And they look at the snakes, and the snakes are, like, hissing at them. And everybody's like...
It.
Yeah.
He
and he tries to get the snake, and it bites him. And me, put on my wildlife hat again, and I'm like, you're doing it wrong, boy. Boy! You gotta get a stick, scoop the snake up with the stick, hold it as far away from your body as possible,
and throw it.
And walk real fast over to a bush, and then drop it. That's how you pick up a snake.
Well, don't you forget, the whole point of it is that he got bit by the snake. So what they do is, it was Billy and I think Jay, they grab the 2 sheets.
Yeah. They send Mike to go to the nurse.
No, he just goes like, I'm gonna go
he's like, I'm gonna go to the nurse.
Because I'm bleeding terribly.
Yeah, because I'm bleeding, and I gotta, like, keep the... You gotta keep your arm above your head. No, don't. Oh, that's the opposite.
No, so what he's doing what he's doing literally is, I'm gonna run, so let's get this poison more into my body. Let's not make a tourniquet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
Well, how old are these kids? Like 10?
12.
12. They're always 12. Why do I ask that question? Every Goosebumps character is 12.
I'm surprised Billy's like, don't worry guys, I'll suck the poison out.
Yeah.
Don't suck the
poison. You gotta suck the poison. No. Dracula don't suck. Dracula, scrape. And lick. He scrape and lick.
So
every time anything, like, anybody says you gotta suck the poison, you gotta suck the wound, or anything like that, that's all I can think of. Dracula don't bite. He scrape and lick.
So they somehow get the snake out because they have like the 2 comforters. They put it up.
They tie the sheet up to get the snakes. Like, one kid's on one end and the other kid's on the other end, and they're just like, okay, ready, go. And then they tie the sheet up really fast, and then they run out into the woods, and then they throw the sheet into the bushes.
The snake's still in it.
And then the snakes come out and walk and go away.
And then they grab they grab it and like, I hope there's no venom on my pillows.
Yeah, because the snakes are just like, well, actually, Australian snakes. Fun fact about Australian snakes, they are more poisonous than American snakes or snakes anywhere else, but the poison, it is easier to, like, not get the poison in your body, because instead of having, like, channels inside the tooth that the poison comes through, it just leaks out of their gums.
Okay,
so if you wear, like, really thick socks or, like, a real thick pair of jeans, like, when a snake bites you, it'll puncture your skin, but your clothes will soak up all the venom.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's a hot survival tip that I learned at camp.
So you're telling me I should poke him with a stick?
If you want to, but, like, don't be a jerk.
I'm not gonna...
What, that snake's not bothering you? What are you doing?
What if that snake killed my family?
Well...
That particular snake.
Well, then you can...
I'll call Sydney Wildlife.
Call somebody with a gun. Don't call Sydney Wildlife. We got our gun license taken away.
I don't even want to ask why.
It's just for trank. It's just for trank darts. It's just because of the laws changed. It's not a fun story. It's not an exciting story at all. It's like a really boring story.
So that's when good old Larry comes in.
And he's like, where's Mike? And they go, we sent him to the nurse because he got bit by a snake. And Larry laughs at them and says,
what?
There is no nurse. I hate Larry.
Larry is... Even his name sounds funny.
Larry.
Like, no offense, I would prefer if someone named Larry is their name Leonard, because at least I can take...
Is it Larry short for Lawrence?
And Leonard.
Oh.
Leonard and Lawrence.
Okay. So Mike comes back and he's like,
oh shit, my hand's
there's no nurse.
My hand's
and also I'm dying because I ran with the snake bite and all my blood got circulated in my heart, and now I'm paralyzed. I'm suing this camp. Goodbye, guys.
Guys, I'm dying. My hand's like swelling up. I'm just like imagining like his hand is like 2 sizes bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
And then Larry just like shittily bandages it.
No, they didn't even bandage it. Like they probably put like...
No, there is a part where he said, look, I'm just gonna find it. Also, I've just passed the page where they say, Mike, Jay, Colin, and I were assigned to the same bunk. It was bunk 4. I thought the bunk should have had a more interesting name, but it was just called bunk 4.
Bunk.
I love that. That's such a, like, 12-year-old thing to say. Like, why isn't it called, like, Soaring Eagle or something rad like that?
Or Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, or Slytherin. It's really funny.
Yeah, he. There's no nurse at Camp Night Moon, and Uncle Al doesn't believe in cuddling. You guys, Uncle Al is probably an anti-vaxxer.
I don't know.
You get polio, just lay down and die. That's what our grandparents did, and it was good enough for them.
Do you know? Actually, my family invented the song "Ring Around the Rosie."
Oh, you're saying that as Uncle Al. I thought that was you saying that, like, as a true thing that's true.
No, that's like...
And I was about to say, you can't possibly know that, Zach.
Or could I?
Dun, dun, dun.
But it's... Yeah, no, or like someone has like a fractured... Like a puncture wound from a bone. Help me. I'm dying. It'll be fine.
Thinking.
So then it turns out that night, they all go to their campfire, which they describe they're eating, like, roasted, like, charcoal black sausages. And Uncle Al is like, here's the rules at Camp... I'm about to say Camp Half-Blood, Camp Night Moon. But 1, you can't go to the girls' camp. 2, no girls' camp. 3, stay out of the forbidden bunk.
Stay out of the forbidden bunk. And also, lights out is at 9, and everybody's, like, bummed out about that.
But everyone's like, ooh, tell us more. Why is it forbidden? Because reasons. Don't go...
Because forbidden!
You should have just, like, said, hey, just don't go in that bunk. It's all dilapidated and stuff. But
yeah,
no, it's the
that is known as the forbidden bunk. We don't talk about that bunk, and we don't go near it. First rule of forbidden bunk, don't talk about forbidden bunk.
That's where Uncle Al has Child Fight Club.
Yeah.
And just himself punch.
That's where, like, why is the forbidden bunk forbidden? Someone called out. We never talk about it. This is what happens in all of these books, because they'll be like, that's the forbidden zone, don't go there. And 12-year-olds, like, to a 12-year-old, that means...
Fun place.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, there's a place, we're going off topic, but there's a place near my house called Green Mist. And what it was, originally, was they used to test landmines near my house.
Oh, shit.
So, this is back in the 50s, and they stopped doing it because... we live near a lot of cow fields, so these cows would just blow up. But so what they would do with the landmines is they'd actually get dead bodies and throw them on the landmines to see how they affected people. So just imagine seeing that. So people used to jump the fence, and there'd be a lot of... I don't think none that I know of have died.
Oh, but I can imagine a lot of lost arms.
There's a lot... Well, there's still a lot of armed landmines in the Green Mist.
So, Mike is... still, like, just hanging out with his bitten hand, and he's just, like, it's starting to, like, swell up.
And throb.
And then they go to ask Larry, and they can't find him.
No, they can't find him.
But they hear some cries. They hear some yells. And guess where they're coming from, guys?
The Forbidden Bunk?
Dun-dun-dun-dun!
Well, that's because it's also right next to the outhouse, and all the people are eating charcoal black hot dog. Ugh.
You ever been to, like, a cookout?
Yeah.
Where the... Like...
No one knows how to cook at a cookout?
Yeah, I know. Or, like...
All the time, Meg.
Yeah.
Well, usually there's, like, alcohol involved, so people don't really pay attention to the food.
Yeah. Usually wherever we went on camp, it was just our luck that we would be, like... It would be, like, total fire ban wherever we were. And so we very rarely got the privilege of being able to do cookouts at camp.
No, we never had that.
Because it was always like, oh, you can't start a fire because the wind will blow it and then the whole campsite will burn down.
Good old Firewatch.
Ugh.
That's from my job.
Do you know do you have those signs here, the Firewatch signs, where it's like...
It's like a happy ones, and then there's like...
No, ours are like, it's like a half circle, and it's like broken up into sections, and there's like blue, green...
Don't smoke here.
Yellow, red, and then black.
No, I don't...
And it's like low danger. Blue is low danger. Green is some danger.
Black is total
Yellow is moderate danger. Red is severe danger. And black is, I kid you not, this is the actual signs that are made by the government. Level black is catastrophic fire danger. If it's on black, you are on fire while you're looking at that sign. Like, why do you need to look at the sign?
I just, like, imagine the guy has to, like, drive down there, the whole place is on fire, gotta turn this to black.
Yeah. I imagine that it's automated, because, like, I don't think I would trust a person to be able to, like, go out and change that sign. Yeah, so the Forbidden Bunk, they're trying to find Larry, and they keep hearing these cries from the...
Are you sure it's not from his stand-up?
I don't get it.
Larry the Cable Guy?
Oh, God. This is how much I hate Larry the Cable Guy. He said his name, and I just, like, stared off into middle distance for a second, like I was reliving the war, because I hate Larry the Cable Guy.
So, the next...
Yeah, so they're trying to find him, because... Mike's hand! Nobody's done anything about it!
No, it's throbbing. It's like 2 times bigger.
Yeah,
than
and
the
it's
other
like,
hand.
it's not even like we're gonna teach these kids how to do it. Like, when I went to camp, they taught us how to wrap a tourniquet.
Yeah,
There wasn't a nurse at camp, but we had to do. They taught us first aid, so it's like there's
They
not a
don't
nurse.
teach you first
You
aid.
are your own nurse.
Like, the first aid kit is probably like, Uncle Al, do you have a first aid kit? He opens it up. Why is there a jar of tuna, a pair of socks, and like fishing
An old
line?
broken laptop.
An old broken laptop and a gun? Oh, that's just the first aid kit that we have.
Yeah, it's a copy of The Secret. Wish yourself better.
Think positive.
Think positive thoughts, you pansy.
So the next day.
Yeah, I know how to. Fun fact: I know how to splint a broken bone, and I learned that at camp.
Yeah. So the next day, Mike is still complaining. And remember, the most important thing is everyone has to write to their parents every
day.
Like, every day.
Every single day. Oh, wait. Oh, we almost forgot about Saber.
Saber's gonna get you.
Saber's gonna get you.
For me, the way I read it is I think of it as Saber, but to most kids, I'm pretty sure they said it's Sabery.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled, but because in Australian English, most of the words that have R-E at the end are flipped.
Same as with theater.
So it's like theater, center, meter, leader.
It's all flipped. But
It's all flipped, so I read it as Saber because that's just how the word Saber is spelled in Australian.
So I just imagine a bunch of kids like, Sabery's gonna get you.
Yeah. I thought it was just spelled like that because I bought this in Australian and they reprinted it with a different
it's in
spelling.
this one too.
Oh, okay.
So this is the first printing?
Yeah, Saber, a red-eyed monster who eats a camper every night. There is no Saber. Larry's just giving us another phony camp story.
Good old Larry.
Yeah.
So
and Larry goes, "I'm not kidding you guys. You don't believe me? Go out one night. Go out and meet Saber. Yeah, go get killed, children that I'm in charge of."
And don't forget about the bears. The
bears.
Uncle Al's like, "Oh yeah, there's bears down
Tree
here."
bears.
Tree bears. What are tree bears?
Probably something that existed in Australia pre-European invasion, but
I just like imagine like a bear's like commando, like he's just waiting. It's like Predator. Like, can you get like the mandibles going?
Yeah.
And
I mean, a tree bear is essentially a drop bear. Like,
is that the thing?
Holy hell! This book just takes place in Australia. Like, being an Australian kid reading this, I can see how you'd be just like, you'd get to the ending and be like, what? This was a totally normal camp with totally normal plants and animals. I don't understand it. Because yeah, a drop bear is a thing that is 100% real, guys. It's not a cryptid. It is a confirmed animal. A drop bear is a totally 100% real animal that Australians go out of their way to warn all tourists about all the time, and the government has many campaigns to protect you all who come to Australia from other countries from the menace that is the drop bear. It looks exactly like a normal koala, but it's always super pissed off, and if they see a human being, they will drop onto you, crack your head open, and eat your brains.
I feel like just imagine a bear pile driving somebody.
Yeah, and then they use their giant claws to cut your head open and eat your brains. And, and also, the prairie wolves, or whatever, let me see the description of that. Let me just find that.
Because they're real things, right?
Let me just see. They may have been at one point. I don't know. They had slender, scrawny bodies covered with spotty reddish-brown fur. Their paws had long, silvery claws growing out of them. This, to me, sounds like a giant quoll. Look up a quoll, and this, imagine a quoll that's dog-sized, and that's what this animal sounds like to me, because a quoll is a reddy, browny animal with a very skinny head, long tail, and spots all over its body, and it is ever since the Tasmanian tiger went extinct, it's the biggest carnivorous marsupial, and it's only about the size of a cat. It's not actually that big. Actually, no, it's the biggest one on the mainland. Tasmanian tiger is the biggest. Tasmanian devil is the biggest one overall. So the next day, they decided to play good old scratch ball because Arlstein. Scratch ball.
I didn't even know what
Calvin ball. Basically, it's Calvin ball.
So it's
whack bat.
So they're playing. I guess Arlstein just loves baseball because how many times have they played baseball in Goosebumps?
He loves that baseball.
Loves baseball.
Go Dodgers. Go the Dodgers.
So. I guess the game is you throw the ball up in the air and then you just hit it, and so if someone catches it, and Mike's just like, oh, my hand is now 4 times. I just imagine Hellboy.
I'm imagining his hand is just at this point it's completely necrotizing, his nails have fallen off and it's all purple and veiny.
And he's just like,
That's an image for you. Don't listen to this while you're eating.
God, help me, I'm dying. And it's like, oh, you go out from the field and you can catch some balls. And
Yeah.
Larry's up to, like, he's gonna pitch. So Jay comes up to Baz, like, I'm the best person to play this game. I won, like, a world championship. And then
Yeah.
that's when Larry, like...
Sure you did, Larry. I mean,
Billy
Jay.
describes that Larry just gives, like, this big old smirk and hits him in the head with this baseball.
Yeah,
And you hear, like, this deafening crack, like, as if, you know, his skull had got
Yeah, it
crushed.
struck Colin in the back of the head, making a loud crack as it hit. Colin's silver sunglasses went flying in the air. Colin stopped short and uttered a short, high-pitched cry. His arms flew up as if he'd been shot. Then his knees buckled. Yeah, see,
He'd be dead.
this is a book... Yeah, this is one of the best, like, build-ups to a twist. Because reading this book, knowing what the twist ending is, everything, like, fits into place. Like, it all makes sense. It's not completely out of nowhere in the same way that Lucy's parents were monsters the whole time.
No.
Or they were turning into dogs, but they were dogs the whole time. Some of R.L. Stein's twists were not, like, as well crafted as this is. This is, like, the best. And it is taking me so much energy to, like, not just blurt out what the ending is every time we talk about one of these plot points. Because, yeah, obviously, Mike would be dead at this point, and Colin would die instantly, and his skull was cracked by a baseball bat.
It was cracked by the baseball bat. And Larry's like, oh no, it slipped, I'm sorry. Everyone saw it, right?
Liar, I thought. Liar, liar, liar. Liar, liar, plants for hire. Don't you mean pants on fire?
No.
So,
they take Mike and Jay to the infirmary, even though there isn't an infirmary.
Yeah.
And they go. And that night, while they're eating at the mess hall, because apparently they go from inside to outside, there's a mess hall, and they're like...
Yeah, they don't just, like...
Eat outside.
I mean...
They said there's a mess hall.
Yeah.
So...
The phrase mess hall has always amused me, but, like, why do they call it a mess hall?
It's like, what did they call it?
Is because the food is a mess?
Like, it's Grubhub. It's kind of like when you go to, like, sick bay.
Yeah, I know. Sick bay I get, but because you're sick, it's like a bay where they send you when you're sick. But the mess hall, like...
It's messy.
It's messy, I guess.
It's messy. So, for some reason, Jay was being a McDuker and dumped, I guess, purple, like, stuff.
Why are all of your, like, insults, why do they all start with Mick? Like, why do they all sound like McDonald's hamburgers?
I want the McDuker.
The McDuker.
So, he dumps all the, there's some purple drink.
Purple drink?
Yeah, that's what it describes. It's purple drink.
Yes. Is it purple drink like purple Fanta mixed with cough syrup?
Yeah, pretty much. Purple drink. And he jumps it all over Mike's shorts. So I was like, oh no, I got purple drink all over my short. And he runs all the way back to his cabin, and he opens up where he has all of his clothes, and none of them are there.
Oh, there was a big food fight at dinner as well, and I just love the mess hall was as noisy as ever. Kids were laughing and shouting to friends across the table. At one table, the guys were throwing breadsticks back and forth like javelins.
I'm just thinking like the Tumblr post.
Takes all my breadsticks. I gotta go.
Remember when that was a huge...
That was a great meme. Except it got ruined so quickly by, like, too many iterations.
Yeah, no.
It's one of those memes that's like, it's like a cancer meme. It mutates so fast that it becomes self-destructive. Not like the excellent, like, timeless meme that is... He ruined my dream journal!
He ruined my dream...
That's made a resurgence. I saw that like 4 times on Twitter today. I did not. Mr. Electric sent you to the principal's office to have it expelled. I can't even say it properly.
So, then he's like, oh no, where's my clothes? Like, oh wait, this isn't my drawer.
And he looks at like, when did they realize that like all of Mike's stuff is gone?
Right after he opens up and realizes that, oh, my stuff is in the drawer after that, but where's Mike's stuff?
Oh, here we go, I found it.
He must have been, went home because of his severe... They might have had, like, medevac about
They probably had, like, the flying doctors come in and airlift him out.
If Uncle Al is gonna get, like, hi, you signed this waiver that I wouldn't get sued.
Yeah.
Was it the next day?
Yeah, and, they go and ask... They ask Larry about it. And...
Larry just doesn't know anything about it.
Larry doesn't know anything about it.
He's like, who's Mike, this person? I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't think they start, like, denying the existence of the campers until a little bit later.
No, because then they have the hiking trip.
Oh, yeah.
So...
I always get this book mixed up with Ghost Camp, because in Ghost Camp, like, there's this extended scene of kids just, like, mutilating themselves. like one kid like puts a fork through his hand and another one like reaches into the fire to grab a marshmallow and pull it out and his hand like melts off, and like other kids are like, I don't know, like drowning themselves. And I always get that book mixed up with this one because there are like similar themes of just really disturbing child injury.
So what happens is there's the hiking trip, except Billy isn't on the list to go.
Why not, Zach?
She just isn't.
Okay.
So it's Mike and Colin. Yeah, Mike and Colin.
Oh, and then Roger gets killed by Saber.
You know, that happens the next night because...
I think
there's, like, a lot of weird, like...
There's a lot of, like... It's hard to keep track of, like, everybody who dies in this book because basically everyone dies.
No, because it's, like... Because this night of this chapter, they said, let's go to the forbidden bunk.
Yeah.
And Bill is like, no.
Oh, yeah, tonight's the night, he whispered, a devilish grin spreading across his face. Huh? Tonight's what night? I demanded. Shh. He raised a finger to his lips. When everyone's asleep, Roger and I are going to check out the forbidden bunk. He turned to Colin. You with us? Colin shook his head sadly. I don't think I can, Jay. Yeah, but then Billy decides he's coming. I think I'll stay with Colin. And he says, because he's a wuss.
And they get there, and then nothing happens. And then they hear, like, a rustling sound. And then they start running, like, they have their synth music playing.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, you know that really, like, weird music that they have in the chase scene in The Howling that sounds like circus music?
Or actually, I'm thinking if it's like wolf music, I just think of like American Werewolf in London with like.
Maybe this is to do a callback to the Cryptid Keeper. Maybe this is American Werewolf in London to American Werewolf in London in America. Blows a kiss into the sky for Allison and Alex. They're not dead, but I'm going to do it anyway because blows a kiss to West Virginia.
Yeah. Oh no! It's going too fast as a hurricane now. I don't think there's a hurricane in West Virginia.
Is there?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I hope not now. Let's touch wood.
The butterfly effect?
Oh, the butterfly effect. Anyway,
So, as they're running, Colin is the one that gets...
No, it's Roger.
Roger's the one that gets...
Yeah, Roger, let's see.
He gets murdered.
Yeah, and they don't even see it. They're just, like, running, and they don't stop to look, but they just hear, like, sounds and, like, the snarling and the ripping.
Just imagine, like, they turn around and they just see, like, not, like, body parts flying, but from, like, a cheap horror movie. There's just blood everywhere and start throwing, like, fake plastic limbs.
Yeah, but, this is actually, like, book is one of the most messed up ones we've done.
Yeah, because they start going, they get back to their cabin, and they're like, we're gonna call for help.
Yeah.
So the next day, they're like, okay, we're going to write to our family. We have to leave on Visitor's Day. And he's like, we can't wait that long. I know there's a phone. There's a phone near Uncle Al's place. So, like, Billy runs to the phone.
And we get what will eventually become an R.L. Stine staple trope of the phones don't work.
No, because it's made out of, like, plasticine.
Like, it's not even plugged in. It's a fake phone.
It's like a theater phone.
Yeah. It's not even plugged in, and they find like bags upon bags of all of the letters that they've been writing to their parents in what is like the scariest part of this book.
It's like, wait, or I just think like they're just gonna mail them all in bulk one day, and just imagine their parents get like thousands upon thousands.
Yeah,
of
just like giant like bags of them.
And Billy's mom just opens one up. All work, no play, make Jack a dull boy, and just like constantly
no TV and no beer make Homer go crazy.
So that's the scariest part is like he goes to the office and like all their letters hadn't been mailed.
And Larry is nowhere.
Larry's nowhere.
And they go to find Uncle Al.
And Uncle Al is like, hey, what's going on here?
They go to ask Uncle Al about it. Okay, so here, I just gotta read this. This is Larry shows up and they go, well, Jay demanded, what did Uncle say about Roger? Larry's expression was serious, his eyes locked on Jay's. Uncle Al and I went all around the forbidden bunk, he told Jay. There wasn't any attack there. There couldn't have been. But it got Roger, Jay cried shrilly. It slashed him. We saw it. Larry shook his head, his eyes still burning into Jay's. That's the other thing, he said softly. Uncle Al and I went up to the office and checked the records, Jay. And there is no camper here that's named Roger.
Oh my god.
So, now...
First, middle, and last name they check. They check thoroughly.
Yeah. I mean, because Roger could be any of those.
Yeah. Or it could be his nickname. Roger's just a street name.
Roger's what they call him in the rap scene. His MC, Roger Dodger.
MC Roger Roger?
Yeah. So,
he likes Star Wars a lot. Phantom Menace is his favorite movie.
Imagine if your name was Roger Roger.
I'd just jump out that window right over there.
The other day, just like on a whim, I wanted to see if there was a person in the world called Dick Butt.
Is there?
Yes. I looked up Richard Butt on LinkedIn. There's like 5 of them out there in the world.
I mean, there's Dick Bupkis.
Yeah, and of course, executive producer Dick Wolf of Law and Order fame.
I'm 22 and she's 25 and this still doesn't get old.
We laughed at the thing in Body Parts. Like, I highlighted that because I'm a child. Where's his Willy? He won't need to worry about reproduction.
Oh, we'll graph one on later.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Because then afterwards, that's when they have the whitewater rafting trip.
Oh, yeah, they go swimming.
They go swimming, but now I have a funny story. I've gone whitewater rafting once in my life, and I've only gone once because while we were whitewater rafting with my grandparents, we hit some rocks, and our instructor dislocated her arm.
Oh, shit.
So she had to pop it back into place to guide. She's like, "Hey guys," like nonchalant, like Meg just give me this face. She's like, "Hey guys, give me a minute. I have to pop my arm back into place, and then we can."
This is the worst.
It's like this is like I'm gonna die here.
Told me.
Yeah, because
the worst thing you've ever told me.
Yeah, because we hit some rocks really badly, and she like completely dislocated her arm. So she popped it back into place, and we guided to like the edge, and like we're just gonna wait for everyone else to show up. And then it's like,
I've already told you the story about getting stranded in the river when the dam broke.
Yeah,
and the guy having to jump across the river to get the guy before he hit the rocks, like this little kid that was. Luckily, he was like the smallest kid in our grade.
That means he's the fastest.
Yeah, he went down the rocks real fast, but also luckily the council was able to grab him by the leg and pull him out of the water.
So I like how we have like weird camp stories.
Oh yeah, because camp is a wild time. As I was telling Zach earlier, in Australia, it is not entirely uncommon for there to just be like a random news story every once in a while about like a group of school kids on TV or scouts
dying.
Or like cadets just going out to the woods and dying. I remember when I was in 8th grade or something, and there was a group of girls from another school in our area, and their tent got struck by lightning, and they all died. Okay, but here's Australian logic for you. We also like a last day of school. It's very traditional. Last day of school, the graduating class pulls pranks all day, and we call that muck up day. You come into school like dressed up in costume, and you pull a bunch of pranks, and you have a big party to celebrate graduating. And one year, a guy, like... And it was, like, people did amazing pranks for Muck Up Day back in the day. Like, you'd, like, drive your principal's car into the pool, put a cow in the administrating office. That happened to one of those other schools. Like, a lot of the guys would, like, go to the girls' school and streak across the quad. Stuff like that. One guy, his mates tied him to the flagpole at his school, and he got hit by lightning. And I don't know if he died or not, but he at the very least he was very seriously injured. After that, like, all of the schools put in like all of these laws like limiting what pranks you were allowed to do. But
superpowers.
Multiple kids go missing and or die on school camps, and the schools are like, well, what are you gonna do? It's camp. Anything goes at camp. That's not us. That's the camp's fault.
So Billy and his new camp, like, because he goes back to his cabin, he finds out that he's got 2 new bunkmates. Yeah.
And he finds out that one of them was really just a key to another dimension put into human form and just inserted it in everybody's memories.
Yeah. And then the other one just looks like Eleven from Stranger Things.
Yeah, the other one is Cousin Oliver.
So they get on, like, to this raft.
Yeah.
Him, Larry, I can't remember the 2 other kids. I'm just going to call them Jack and Rich so I can complete the mix. They start going down the lazy river, but all of a sudden they get into some rough water because good old Larry's like, ooh, look, a fish. Like, I haven't seen one of those before. He, like, leans down and falls into the water. And he's like, oh no, I can't swim.
Oh no, Larry, the best character. I hope he doesn't die.
He's like, help, I'm drowning. I don't have my life vest.
And the kids just look at him and slowly boat away. And they are all flipping the bird at the same time.
But, Billy comes to his senses, like, I have to help him, so he rips off his shirt, and he jumps into the water, leaving the 2 kids that have no idea how to, like, maneuver a boat down the river so he can save Larry. So he saves Larry, and they get back to the side of the water. And it's like, I guess we have to walk home. What about the 2 kids?
They run into the girls, Dawn and Dory, and they're like, do you guys remember Mike? Nobody remembers Mike. Like, everybody's pretending that Mike doesn't exist, but the girls remember Mike.
Yeah, and then the reason why they came to that side was because
the same thing's happening at
the people are going missing, people are dying.
Yeah, and everyone calls it Camp Nightmare instead of Camp Night Moon. Oh no, that's the title of the book!
You can't hear that. I'm just like knee slapping out of my hand and my little
So much knee slap.
knee slapping.
Knee slap is that critical pass.
It's like
Yeah,
actually
so
slapping.
three girls have gone missing from the girls' camp, and so they all try to make a plan to get out.
And then the most important thing happens. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens, you're right.
Nothing happens because Billy's like, okay, when visitor day comes, we're not going to be here. And then one of the kids is like, wait, didn't you hear? Uncle Al just canceled Visitor's Day.
He knows.
He knows too much. And then he's just like, we gotta get to the bottom of this. We gotta go to the Forbidden Bunk and all this stuff. Wait, that's from the TV show. They don't actually go to the Forbidden Bunk.
No, they go on the canoe. They're going on that canoe trip.
No, they already went to the
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So in the show they go to the Forbidden Bunk and stuff, but in this one, Uncle Al's pissed because he lost his good canoe because his 2 kids went missing.
Yeah, he's pissed because he lost the canoe.
Not all kids are just really just numbers on a
Is this
spreadsheet.
what camp is like in North Korea? Because I feel like it must be. No, this. You know what this is? This is that Russian. This is the Russian Boy Scouts that they used to do with the communists. I forget what they were called, but everybody had to do it, and they would send you out to pick irradiated mushrooms from the fields. And Vladimir Putin runs in on a bear and. He's shirtless and just firing guns wildly into the sky because it's Russia.
He's actually time-traveling Stalin.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Al's got a mustache.
Oh my god.
There's no proof that he's not Stalin.
He's just like, oh, camp, still production is down. I mean, you haven't done your Etsy accounts yet today, comrades.
We shouldn't joke. Stalin killed many, many people.
Well, Uncle Al could have killed many, many people.
Well,
you don't know.
he killed significantly less than Stalin.
Oh, that means production, Meg. That's simple as that.
Yes. So,
So then, Don and
Dory.
I wanted to say Donnie and Louise, but that's a completely different thing. So Don and Dory is like, we're gonna get out of here. You're gonna come with us, Billy? Like, okay, I'll pack up and go. But all of a sudden, they have a town meeting. Town meeting. Uncle Al lines everyone up. This is almost like execution. Like, they're about to take him out back and shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
And
oh my god! And this is the part where he gives him the gun, right?
He gives him the gun.
Oh, this was messed up.
So Uncle Al comes out and he's wearing full camouflage and he's holding a rifle. And it's like, okay, so there's these 2 girls and
Who
they've
have escaped.
and we can't have that in this camp. Everyone gets a gun, gets some rounds,
and you go out into the woods and you are gonna hunt them down
because woman is the most dangerous game.
Yeah, child, the most dangerous game. Anyway, I'm just gonna try and see. Let me see if is it a real rifle or is it
No, it's a real rifle. It's got trank darts in it. Luckily.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
I
that's
thought that they changed that for the show. I was remembering them being real bullets.
No, because Billy is like, is this a real gun? Well, of course it is,
true.
but it has trank bullets in it.
Yeah.
So we can slow them down.
Which is in a way a little bit more horrifying.
This is the most horrific thing, just because they're would they do that at the girls' camp? Or do they just?
They don't. We don't know anything about the girls' camp other than.
I'm just
other
saying, would they
people
do this
going
if the
missing.
boys escaped? Would the girls' camp have
They
to?
probably would.
Just imagine that. I just
There's
imagine.
probably just a woman version of Uncle Al. Hi, Mom.
Oh, hi.
We had to change rooms because they were doing construction at the Sheridan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Zach, you had to change rooms.
No. We just can't record.
Oh, you can't record.
Oh no,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, it's okay.
You're good.
Here, I do have something you can, if you want a snack.
That's good.
Whoop.
Do you want to say hi to the listeners, Mom?
Oh my God.
Please keep this in.
I'm gonna keep it.
Please keep this in, Zach.
So Meg's mom just came in.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions about camp? Because we're reading a book about camp.
I hated camp. I hated camp. Because the camp that I went to only had outhouses. So it was just horrible.
What's in there?
Didn't
Is
have
it
indoor
toffee apple?
plumbing. There is some nice things you can munch on there, Zach.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
We'll eat those after we finish.
Ooh, candy corn.
Ooh.
Here's candy corn.
Candy popcorn and... Oh, is that Rocky Road? Is that Rocky Road or is that Peppermint Park?
It's peppermint.
Oh,
Yay.
good. Okay. So,
Well, I
we'll just wait for you to go and then we'll...
yes. Goodbye, Zach.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome to eat all those candies.
We will.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
You can take the caramel corn because I hate caramel corn. Anyway, so yeah, and then
That's so. I'm just notes. What I was saying was, I just imagine like Uncle Al puts on like a wig. He still keeps
Yeah,
his mustache on.
yeah.
He's the female
Auntie Al. And like either that or it's like his identical twin sister.
She kind of looks like not Mrs. Crabtree, like the woman from Matilda.
Trunchbull.
Yes, Trunchbull.
Yeah. So he gives him the gun. He gives Billy the gun, and he's like, "Oh, who does he get him to shoot?" I'm just.
He wants him to kill Don or Dory.
Yeah, he wants him to. Okay, no, but he's saying I wasn't going to go hunting Don or Dory. I wasn't going to do anything else Uncle Al said ever. Give me the rifle, Billy, he said in his low, menacing voice. He reached out a hand towards my gun. Hand it over, boy. No, I cried. Hand it over now, he ordered, his eyes narrowing, burning into mine. Now, no, I cried. He blinked once, twice. Then he leapt at me. I took a step back with the rifle and aimed at Uncle Al, and I pulled the trigger.
Made it click.
And then...
Congratulations, Billy!
Here we go! My favorite Goosebumps... No, not my favorite Goosebumps twist, but like...
One of my favorites.
From a storytelling standpoint, probably the best Goosebumps twist. The one that, like everything falls into place once you know. So basically...
Congratulations, Billy, you passed the test!
And everybody who died comes out of the bushes and they're all like clapping and they're like, you did it! You did it! And this reminds me of, what's that anime with the ending where it's just like, congratulations! Congratulations! And there's like, they're on like an iceberg. And I think it's Evangelion. It's like... There's a TV Tropes page called Gainax Ending because Gainax always like puts the weirdest non sequitur endings on their animes. I'll have to show it to you. I'll get my phone.
We'll do it later.
Okay, no, I'll show you. I gotta show you right now because I want this. I want you to know what I'm talking about because it is exactly this. It is exactly this. Oh, it is Evangelion. It is Evangelion that has this like weird ending. This is literally what happens.
The ending of Avon, I've seen Neon Genesis, but not all the way through.
Neither did I. But yeah,
why is everyone saying congratulations?
Everybody comes out and says, and is like, "You did it, Billy. You passed the test."
And it's like, okay, what test?
And we forgot to mention that somebody asks him, what are your mom and dad doing this summer? And he says, "Oh, they're on an expedition because they're scientists." Yeah, and then his parents pop out of the bushes and he's like, "Mom, Dad, what are you doing here?"
And
I thought you were on that important mission.
Guys, you passed the test.
Yeah.
Yes, you passed the test because our next expedition, we won't let you go unless you pass certain tests, such as, honest...
Well, I gotta read this whole thing. Okay. We wanted to see if you could obey orders. You passed when you refused to go in the forbidden bunk. Second, we had to test your bravery. You demonstrated that by rescuing Larry. Third, we had to see if you knew when not to follow orders. You passed that test by refusing to shoot Dawn and Dory. And everyone was in on it, I asked. All the campers, the counselors, everyone. They were all actors.
I just imagine, like, they rounded up... Like, is this how they get their SAG card?
Yeah.
Or is this, like, the community theater, like, they're really awful actors?
The twist is that Uncle Al is Tracy Morgan, and this is just a really extended episode of Scare Tactics. So the parents had to do this. They're going to take him on their next mission, but in order to get him to the point where he could do it, they had to, like... gaslight him, basically. That's essentially what this is. Just like this is just like the weirdest and most bizarre.
So basically they wanted to indoctrinate him. What if he failed all those tests? Sorry, Bill, you can't come with us to... Oh my god.
Maybe they just, like, if he failed the test, they just never tell him, and he just spends the rest of his life thinking that 1 year he went to that camp where every single person died.
He just wakes up in the middle of the night screaming.
Yeah, he just...
And he just has, like, a bunch of...
They send him to therapy, but the therapist's an actor. Yeah, these parents are horrible.
So...
They would do this to...
Meg.
Okay.
What's the twist?
All right.
What is the terrible twist of this book that is best? Oh, Meg's getting in the zone.
I'm getting in the zone, because...
This is really weird.
I'm so hyped. You see, Billy... Your parents want to take you to a very dangerous place. Perhaps the most dangerous place in the known universe. So we had to make sure you could handle it. The most dangerous place in the known universe? Where? I asked my parents. Where are you taking me? It's a strange planet called... Earth.
Oh my god.
And now you know what I mean, because, like, the whole, like, the sky's yellow, the dirt's red. There's, like, all of these bullshit animals that don't exist. All of the place names are fake.
Everyone acts really weird.
They play weird, what was it, scratch ball instead of baseball. It all makes sense.
I like how in the TV episode they look up and you can see Earth.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I just look at it's like the Forest Wind of Endor. It just doesn't make sense. Like
I know.
I always thought I was like, is this
like,
the moon?
Yeah, are they on the moon? Is this the dark side of the moon? Is this what the government doesn't want us to know?
Is this what Pink Floyd was warning us about?
Oh my god. Isn't there a story, like a song on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon that's like
the whole
brain damage?
Oh my god, I love this.
Okay. Do you know the podcast Till Death Do Us Part?
No.
Okay, it's a show where the McElroy brothers and then these two other guys, every year on Thanksgiving, they watch Pole Blart Mall Cop 2, and they, like, react to it. And in this year's episode, Griffin was like, I enjoyed it a lot more because I figured out that you can sort of sync it up to Dark Side of the Moon. And now I'm wondering, what if you, like, if you take the episode that this book is... like, that this book was made into for the TV show. I wonder if you could... It's not long enough, but, like...
No, I mean, you could do it for... So I've synced it up to Dark Side of the Moon to Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that works. Everyone knows that one works. Everyone knows that one works. But, like, would Welcome to Camp Dark Side of the Moon, would that work?
So you watch the Goosebumps movie and see if it syncs up.
Oh, my God.
It's a conspiracy. What if it works? It goes to, like, money, and then that's when, like, the books open up.
Oh, yeah.
Money.
Yeah, I don't know what definitely brain damage, this one. Like, the lunatic is in my head because my parents gaslit me. So, because I've got the new one, once again, I've got my Behind the Screams section. So, do you want to hear about how to make your own spooky camp?
Yeah. From Jovial Bob Stein.
Oh, okay, but first of all, let's have some facts about venomous snakes. Not all snakes are venomous. In fact, most are not. Only 1 in 4 of the Earth's snakes use venom for hunting or self-defense. There is no easy way to tell a venomous snake from a non-venomous one. A bite from any snake can cause damage and infection. It's best to treat any snake bite as if it were poisonous. Seek medical attention immediately. Just like Mike did in Chapter 5. But unlike Mike, don't run and, like, wave your hand around. Get somebody to carry you. Possibly, like, holding you in a position that your arm
and use your belt
is to, like, on the same level. And also to...
Make a tourniquet.
Don't suck the wound. Because that just gets bacteria from your mouth into the wound. And then you have the snake bite venom in your mouth.
And you won't get superpowers.
No. Of all the venomous snakes, there are only a few that really stand out. The black mamba is one of the most dangerous snakes and also one of the fastest known to man or woman. Do you like that joke? Like, anyway,
is there a Q&A session?
Yeah, the Q&A session. Okay, right. And then we've also got, like, a absolutely bizarre one, top 10 reasons to be happy that your camp is haunted. And then also how to make your own spooky camp schedule. Q&A with R.L. Stein. Readers are certainly surprised by the twist ending of Welcome to Camp Nightmare. How did you ever think of it? I have a twisted mind. Welcome to my twisted mind. In fact, I have to go to a special doctor to have it untwisted. Is R.L. Stein Jared Leto?
He's a method writer.
Not really, but I spend a lot of time trying to come up with crazy endings to surprise my readers. Did you know that I always think of the surprise ending first? It doesn't feel like that to me on half your books, Jovial Bob. Because this is the only one where it feels like you've thought of the twist ahead of time, Jovial Bob.
Oh man, shots fired.
Shots fired. No, I love him, but, like, honestly, some of the twists just come absolutely out of nowhere. The kids and counselors at Camp Night Moon were very good at keeping secrets. How good are you at keeping a secret? I'll never tell.
He just has bodies everywhere.
He just winks. Like, wink once if you know who killed JFK.
He winks twice? What is that supposed to mean?
That doesn't mean anything.
Oh, you double know?
I double know, yeah. If you were sent to Camp Night Moon, would you be able to pass Uncle Al's 3 tests? No way! I was a terrible camper. I hated the outdoors. Me too, R.L. Stein. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. I like the outdoors sometimes. Anyway, let's see how to make your own spooky camp schedule. Create a creepy camp schedule. If you are a ghoulish camp counselor, what ghastly activities would you put together for your campers? Check out below our example of a really creepy day at camp, and then make your own schedule. Have a friend make one too. Schedule for Camp Bloodstone. Screaming banshees wake up all campers. Breakfast, frosted skin flakes with bat milk. That's horrible. Cabin inspection. Monsters under beds and skeletons in closets are fed.
Oh, yay.
How do you feed the skeleton? Who knows? Dirt nap. Tennis with shrunken heads. Lunch, freshly ground yak burgers, hair and horn included.
So-
I was into it until hair and horn included, because like honestly, a yak can't taste that much different to like buffalo.
No.
Personal time. Write a letter or make a phone call to your parents if they haven't cut the phone lines yet.
Oh my god.
Swimming with alligators. Zombie archery. So are you shooting zombies with arrows? Are the zombies like, or is it like archery for zombies?
No, I think it's like they tie the zombie. No, the zombies are coming at you.
The zombies are just like walking around and you gotta shoot them.
Your instructor's
Yeah.
Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Except less complaining.
That's like, neither of us like The Walking Dead. That's
No.
our hot take. Dinner, special tonight. We're putting on a murder mystery, and one of our campers will have the starring role.
Yay!
Yay! A preview of tonight's horrors, haunted tales around the campfire. Lights out. No, really, we mean it. That's the best one. That's the funniest one there. So anyway, like, maybe you can tweet at us your spooky camp schedule.
Ooh.
And finally, 10 reasons why you should be happy your camp is haunted. 10. The talking Brussels sprouts make food fights more interesting. 9. The tents float a few inches off the ground, giving campers a much more comfortable sleep.
Hey,
I cannot argue with that.
Can't argue.
That's sound logic.
Zero gravity.
Arrow bed, literally. 8. Since the camp counselors only come out at night, you're free to do whatever you want during the day. That sounds pretty sweet too, actually. Like, the only one I'm not into is the first one, because I don't like Brussels sprouts, and I think I would like them even less if they talked. 7. Pick up the right baseball bat and you're guaranteed to hit a home run every time you step up to the plate. This really makes up for the fact that if you pick up the wrong bat, you will lose all of your fingers. 6. All the ghosts packed into your cabin make it nice and cool, even during the hottest summer nights. 5. The werewolf howls keep all the bears away. Who would win in a fight between a werewolf and a bear? Because I feel like it would still be a bear.
Is it the werewolf or the bear? Did you say?
Like between a werewolf and a bear, because I mean, even though a werewolf has like the strength and agility of a wolf with the intellect of a man, a bear can still easily beat both of those animals.
Yeah, but Wolfman has nards.
Wolfman does have nards, but so does bears. And you know what? Bears are bigger than wolves.
Yeah, but I feel like you just like chunk them into pieces and it's come right back.
He would. That's true.
So,
unless it's a bear with silver claws. Which would be badass.
Or an owlbear.
Now I'm just thinking about owlbears and how much I love them. That's my favorite D&D monster of all time is the owlbear because I love him.
Or a bee bear.
That's the worst animal. That is the worst idea for an animal of all time.
It'll be a wasp bear because it's just nightmares.
No! Go to jail. That's bad and illegal. Has science gone too far? Yes. 4, you can brush up on your history by talking with some of the really old ghosts floating around. Like, what, are they going to make you write a history report for camp?
Is this the history of magic?
What kind of camp is this? Yeah. 3, the haunted bands that play in the abandoned theater are amazing. What kind of camp has a theater that plays live music? What kind of fancy camp is this?
An amphitheater.
It's the best camp. I want to go to this camp.
They probably play either like really awful folk music or like just punk rock all day.
Yeah. 2, the giant spiders eat all the mosquitoes, gnats, and other annoying things like stupid bunkmates. Wow.
I can get by this camp now.
Oh my god, the worst. The first one is like
the worst.
This gets dark. Number 1, the meat at the cafeteria is never tough. It's always young and fresh.
Oh my god.
You're eating your bunkmates.
Soylent Green is
people. Oh.
And that was
Welcome to the Camp Nightmare. Okay, so do you want to do gifts before or after the joke?
Let's do the joke first.
Okay.
So I have the book with me. Meg, can you confirm this is a book?
Yes, it's a real book. And let me to quote myself, can we just talk about this cover? It's got all of these like monsters and there's a tentacle something that looks like some kind of weird, wonky ostrich with teeth, the Frankenstein monster and the Bride of Frankenstein, real strange Muppety-looking guy, a jack-o'-lantern, a vampire, a mummy, and then some other, like, random monsters, and they're all looking at their joke books, and they're having a good old time. They're all laughing so much, and they're so happy, and I love it.
So I want to go find one. What did the monster say after he ate Cleveland?
What?
What's for dinner? Knee slap.
Is the joke that Cleveland's a small city?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cleveland, Ohio?
yeah, well, he's from Ohio. Oh, Brandon Boone's from Cleveland. Hi, Brandon. Anyway,
So we also, because this is technically a Christmas episode?
yes.
Because it'd be easier to give her gift now rather than...
Yeah, than to spend the exorbitant shipping prices.
So I got a gift for Meg, and she got a gift for me.
Alright, so mine's not wrapped, so,
We'll do mine first, because mine's all wrapped. and
okay,
stuff. It's got a
alright.
card.
Oh, it's got a card. I feel
So,
terrible for you.
Merry
just
Christmas,
getting-
everyone. Happy Hanukkah, wherever the hell you celebrate.
Joyous candle nights.
Pray to Cthulhu. That crisp HD ripping of... You have to read the card on it.
I wish it was like... If it, like, popped open, we could do a wine and crime reference here.
Oh, nice
Pop. Oh, this is a nice card. It's got so many, like, good flowers on it. And on the inside, to Meg, I could not do this show without you. You are the best co-host a person can ask for, and a best friend to keep staying spooky. That's an excellent
Now
card.
open the
Thank you
gift.
so much.
Now, this
now it's time
gift
for
is
the
something
gift.
that, wait, before you open it up, I thought long and hard about this gift.
It feels
and
like
I feel
a hardcover book.
Does feel like a hardcover book, and it's something that I think that brought us together. So you
Oh
just
wait, I know exactly what book this is just from feeling the shape of the cover. That's how much of a nerd I am. I can recognize these books by touch alone. And if I'm wrong, cut that out so I don't sound like a weirdo.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right because this is something that brought us together.
I hope it's one I don't have. Because this would...
It might be.
I mean, like, even if it is one that I already have, I'd be happy to have two copies.
Now, Meg, you might want to open that book up.
It is...
You might want to open that book up a little more.
Oh my god.
Merry
Oh
Christmas.
my god! Oh!
Merry Christmas.
This will go so well with the other Daniel Handler signature that I have.
Which one do you have?
So, what
not this one,
what
right?
Zach has gotten me... Oh, the signature's on it. The same. That's why it's his signature. Anyway, what Zach has gotten me is a copy of The Bad Beginning, a series of unfortunate events, book the first, which I already had a copy of. But on the inside front cover, he's gotten it autographed by Lemony Snicket's official media representative, Daniel Handler.
She's freaking out right now.
This is the best. I already have one autograph from him because I got one of my Tumblr followers like a million... No, this is like ages before any of us knew any of us. It was just like some random person. I don't even remember who it was, but she said she made a post on Tumblr that was like, "Oh, I'm going to see Daniel Handler. Does anybody like want me to get stuff signed for them, and then like email it back to you so you can print it out?" And so I got her to print out like some Lemony Snicket fan art that I did and get that signed. And I've got that up on my wall in my room at home. So now I'm gonna I don't want to cut the cover out of this, but I do at the same time. I might photocopy it.
Just photocopy. Keep it the book.
Yeah. So, wow. Thank you so much. And I am the biggest nerd in the world because I can't, this is how deep my obsession with Lemony Snicket runs. Feeling the spine of this book through the wrapping paper, I knew which book it was. I knew it was Lemony Snicket because they have a very distinctive
feel
with like the smooth stuff and then the rough stuff and then the crunchy sides to the paper. That's my favorite part of any Lemony Snicket book. The crunchy, when you look at the sides of the paper, it's like crunchy, distressed style.
Yeah, no.
It's so excellent. Anyway, thank you so much. And I love this wrapping paper, by the way. It's got aliens on it. I'm going to save this and use it for something. Anyway, that makes me feel really crappy about the gift that I got you because I got you this.
You got me Vegemite!
Yeah.
Yes!
And now you gotta eat some. Tell the listeners what you think.
Okay, first off, what the I don't give a shit. What the hell is Vegemite?
Okay, Vegemite is a vitamin B enriched yeast extract sandwich spread.
This does not sound delicious at all. Is it delicious?
Do you like salty?
Yeah.
Then it is.
I feel like
if you don't like salty, then you're gonna have a bad time. It is not as like if you tried Marmite.
Oh God.
It tastes better than it smells, I promise. This kills the man. No regrets.
You asshole. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Okay, that might single-handedly might have been the worst thing that I've ever... I can still smell it. Oh God. Okay, so impressions is it's very salty, and I can understand why your country was a penal colony for the longest time, because this is something prisoners probably ate.
Yeah. It's... I don't understand why people hate it so much. Like, I had a Vegemite sandwich for lunch, like, every day when I was a kid, and my friends would be like, when I was in school in the States, my friends would be like, what are you eating? What kind of sandwich is that? Oh, it's a Vegemite sandwich. Can I have a bite of it and taste your, like, weird foreign sandwich spread? And they would, like, have the same reaction that Zach just had, and I would just be sitting there baffled, like, well, I think this shit is delicious. And it's actually also very good, like, you get an English muffin, you put some butter.
No, Meg, this is fish food. This is what, like, I imagine, like, the gelatin version of the flaked fish food.
This is what Australians do to express their love for friends that are from other countries, is they force them to eat Vegemite.
Well, thank you,
because we have a horrible sense of humor. We have just
give me that book back
sense
now.
Of humor.
It's a terrible, terrible taste.
You can keep the jar, though, like, as a decoration.
You can scoop it out.
And maybe someone in your family will like it.
No, I think if I give this to my mom, she'd kill me.
Well,
oh God. Well,
I feel really terrible now because I expected you to get me a joke present. So I got you a joke present.
No, I got you a very thoughtful present.
You did, and now I feel like a bitch. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so that was fun. Meg, before I throw up, what's the book we're reading next week?
We are reading a book called Silent Night. Is it a Fear Street book?
Yes, it's a Fear Street
book. We are reading a Fear Street book called Silent Night.
Not get confused with the horror movie about the guy that's dressed as Santa Claus, Silent Night. It might be, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you know next week if somebody in that book says, Garbage Day!
No!
Best line read in any film ever.
Oh, God.
Aside from maybe, I can't believe you committed suicide.
No.
I can't help you out of this one, Jim.
They're eating her.
And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. We can do this all day.
We could.
But where can they reach you, Meg?
You find me at Meg Tuten on Twitter. That's at MEGTUTEN. I am also on Tumblr. I am sodasodabanana.tumblr.com. And if you want to check out Nightmare on Fear Street merchandise, you can go to my Redbubble store, which is redbubble.com/people/Megan Tuten. That's MEGHANTUTEN. We put up a whole bunch of new designs for the holiday. We've got the Nightmare on Fear Street like iTunes logo. We have like a version of that doesn't have the border, which you can get on like laptop cases and shirts and tote bags and pillows and greeting cards and a bunch of other stuff. We've also got the new Vampire Blood Can Melt Steel Beams. We've also got a Bigfoot Capoeira Time design. And did I do another one? No, that's it. We've got 4. We've got the pink Nightmare on Fear Street logo, the green Nightmare on Fear Street logo. We've got the Vampire Blood Can Melt Steel Beams, and we've got Capoeira Time.
We'll be adding more every day.
We will be adding more once I get back to my computer so I can actually like make the pictures.
Well, if you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Suda41, that's SUDA. If you want to follow our show on Twitter, that's at Night Fear Street. And if you want to follow us on Patreon and just donate cans of Vegemite to me, you can donate that to Nightmare on Fear Street /Patreon.com. if you want to send us some spooky messages, such as how Vegemite has ruined your life.
And also send us like your spooky camp schedules that you make.
Yeah, your spooky camp schedules.
And tweet them at us too, and we'll rate them.
You can also... So if you want to find us, that's nightmareinfearstreet@gmail.com. And that seems about it. It's really weird talking to you face to face, Meg, and I feel like after this we're just gonna have to kill each other.
Yep, I'm gonna push him out the window, like I promised to do at the end of last week's episode.
Don't worry about that. I'll hit the ground.
I'm pretty sure that like all of the listeners now will like 100% think I'm a psychopath, because I was just like, while you were rinsing your mouth out in the sink, I was just sitting here like cackling, and also like I'm pretty sure last week I literally said I can kill you in real life.
Well, there's only one way to end this episode, Meg. We
Capoeira time.
No, like 90s high five.
90 high five, yeah.
Okay, so we're getting up and we're gonna do like a 90s.
Please add like music to the background of this.
Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Yeah!
Yeah!
Ah, we're stuck like this. Bye, everybody.
Bye! Stay spooky!